Welcome, sinners, to the Cinamen podcast. I'm Chris.
I am Nick.
And I'm Tyler.
And this week's episode, we got a complete 180 or 360, however you want to say it.
I think it's a 180.
Yeah, I guess you want to say that's.
Yeah, because 360,
we
you're
were just taking it right
the
back
same
around.
way.
So we'll be 360ing
Well, 180.
once October comes, all
yeah.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Going
we're just
into
gonna.
it.
Yeah, October we got a lot of horror themed episodes coming up.
Yeah. This week we also have a horror themed episode. We're reviewing the recently released Blair Witch, and with that comes along the privilege of us reviewing some other found footage horror films. Specifically, what, Tyler, we got Paranormal Activity,
VHS,
And the OG Blair Witch.
the
Yes.
1999,
1990 something. Blair
give or
Witch
take a few
Project.
years, Blair Witch Project. So this is awesome. I love diving back into horror films.
Yeah, it's really good, and I'd never seen the Blair Witch before this. I'd never seen Blair Witch Project.
Me neither, actually. Nick, have you seen?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's
though,
and you know, I think it's considered a classic horror movie.
Oh yeah. I'd say so. It was a big deal then.
And I think
It was that time's Paranormal Activity to us, like found footage horror film
That's
that
a good way
blows
to
your
put it.
mind.
That
And
everyone thought was real.
Blair Witch is the highest grossing Blair Witch Project, I'm sorry, is the highest grossing found footage film, and I think technically the most profitable film ever made.
It couldn't have been very expensive to shoot.
Exactly, and it made over $250 million at the box office. And I read, and I feel bad that I don't remember the exact percentage, but it like thousands of percent, like tenfold, like
Really.
That's
percentage ratio, like from budget to expenses paid. Like
Okay.
that's awesome. And Paranormal Activity, I think, is the second highest grossing found footage film. So that's cool. We got both of these
In one episode.
in one go. So
Okay, well, I think we should start with the main event. Let's do Blair Witch Project and Blair Witch all together at the same time.
first question: this was found footage as well?
Yes.
Okay,
awesome. Whole thing.
Yes.
Okay.
not like half like cinematic, half
No.
found footage. Okay, so I'll ask you: was it good?
I enjoyed myself watching it. I don't think it was better than the first one,
Ooh, okay.
and I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. Like, it wasn't... For one thing, found footage tends to make me really sick. Like, I get real bad motion sickness, like
I've had
Cloverfield.
that. Cloverfield. Was
I
the
can't
only
watch...
time
I've
that
watched
I've
Cloverfield
had it.
one time.
That's so weird. I don't experience that at all. If anything, I sit there and I'm like, fix the camera,
It
damn
was
it,
in
come on.
Mine was in the theater showing. Like midway
Yeah.
through, I was kind of like, oh man.
Me
I
and-
got better. I was fine. I muscled through it because I ain't no puss.
Me and Justin watching Blair Witch, like, several times I had to, like, put my hand over my eyes and, like, not look at it for a minute. And the
He
whole
was
time,
scared.
yeah.
He was scared.
It was pretty creepy. It was a creepy movie.
Blair Witch?
A little bit, yeah.
The original Blair Witch.
No, I'm talking the
The new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it did some weird things that I didn't like. It had way too much shaky cam.
Like overdone.
And I thought the original was going to have too much shaky cam, and it didn't. The original barely made me sick. It could be the difference between my TV screen and the theater screen.
Right.
But it definitely had way more of, oh my gosh, we're running and the camera's shaking. We're so scared that we can't hold the camera straight. Right? And that really was annoying. And then there was just like changes to the plot that just, for me, made it weaker. So let's start with you. What did you guys think of the original?
If I'm gonna be honest, I didn't care for it at all.
You didn't like it at all,
Didn't care for it.
Nick.
I don't know
I-
what the fuss was about.
I actually enjoyed my viewing of it because I don't remember anything. So this was almost like a clean fresh
slate.
go at it, right? I enjoyed my experience, and then I started thinking about, well, we didn't even see any, like, there was no creature, not even like a person trying to be anything.
I think
so
you can see something in like some of the.
Either way, we didn't get like a definite, like we didn't.
I think
there
there's
was no
theories
creature.
online like there is no witch.
The
and
ending sucked.
well,
Yeah, and I was-
it's a fake story, right? So
obviously it's not real.
okay.
yeah.
I wondered.
But
Okay, I didn't know what you guys think the Blair Witch was a real
There was
story.
no
and this
witch.
was
Like witches, I think are cool and
So
can
do
be
I.
scary outside of like
And
their,
that's-
like,
yeah, that's
long
what
nose
I
and
wanted.
warts
Yeah,
type
correct.
facade.
I
was
agree.
really excited to get hoping to get
Hoping
some
to get
sort
a
of like
treat,
experience
you know?
out of that. Nothing. And so once I put all the like negatives together, they kind of like outweighed the positives. So I too am let down.
I think there are good positives to it, though.
I do think that it was a good film until I looked at those questions.
Okay, let's look at the strengths real quick, because I think that I can believe, or I can see why people believed it was real.
Yeah, I agree.
Watching it, the interviews that they did with like the people in town were just like, oh, those are real people talking about a real thing. right? Like it felt so real. The filming felt real.
The realism of it was really good.
So, and I feel like if I thought that was real, that is scary. Like that would be a scary situation. I felt like it was very tense. It had a lot of tension, like especially during the day shots, which is where the new movie lacked.
No tension, or just
there
no
was
day
tension,
shots?
But like, so in the new one, they are going into the woods to find the main guy's sister, right? He sees a video online of like...
Is this the same woods from the first one? Burkittsville or...
Yeah, I believe
so. Is he okay, cool.
And let's go ahead and throw out a spoiler warning.
Obvious spoilers, sinners.
Yes, they're
Spoiler warning.
Approach with caution.
Is the crew the same? Like one girl, two guys?
No.
Same names or
See,
anything?
Obviously it's 2016, so they wanted to make it bigger. They wanted to make it better. There's more people.
Oh, okay.
Which
sometimes can
is
be
there a
good
witch
and
in this?
sometimes can be bad.
Do you see any kind of shit? Because
you see some shit, but it still follows the same. Where like it's a lot of like what you don't see,
right.
That's just its style. It's
sure, yeah.
It's scary what you don't see that's going on.
Right.
So they go into the woods because they see a video online. His sister went into the woods and she was kind of videotaping a little bit, and then he sees the footage of her like in this house, right, which is kind of like the same house from the end of the first one,
right.
And he's like, we're going to go find her. So they go find the guy who uploaded the video, who said he found the camcorder. And it's this real, almost kind of like a goth conspiracy guy and his girlfriend. And in my opinion, they're the most interesting characters in the movie. So the people say, we'll show you where we found the camcorder, but you're letting us come with you. Right?
Okay.
So it's it's like a guy and a girl. They're not together. She's making the movie, but they obviously have tension. Like they obviously like each other.
They're making a movie?
She's making a documentary of him trying to find his sister.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's okay. I gotcha.
Right. So they go in, and then they got their two friends with them who are a couple. This black guy and this black girl together, and then the conspiracy theory guy and his girlfriend. So 6 people, and they go
double
in.
the crew. All right.
Yes.
And so they're not even. Sorry, they're not even looking like they're not even on a Blair Witch. Anything related
like they happen to run into
so
this.
Far.
They know about like rumors and stuff.
Oh, okay. All right.
But they're not looking for the
their
witch.
mission or
They're
anything.
looking for the sister.
The missing girl was.
Man, so right away, that's weird.
Yeah.
The missing girl was looking for the witch or doing something about the witch.
I don't know. Maybe she was just camping. I can't really remember. Maybe they mentioned it. Maybe they didn't.
Okay. Yeah. So already this is kind of different path.
And it didn't feel as real. That's one thing.
Like it's cinematic now.
That's like a big normally that wouldn't be a big deal, but on something like this, I think it is.
And they were filming with like better cameras, which obviously better technology exists now. So they had a drone with them, which I almost thought that aspect was cool. There's different technology available. Obviously, they're not going in with 2 cameras that are really crappy. They're going in with. They all had like earpiece cameras, so like it went over
you
the
see
ear.
out the side of the head.
Yeah, but you don't see the head.
Yeah, no, I was joking. Yeah.
No, but
it's looking
still
forward. Yeah, I got you.
So they have those, and then they have a nice DSLR, and then they have a drone with a GoPro on it.
So it's a whole movie from like all of their, like goes
you
back
get all
and
their
forth
different
between all their,
perspectives, which is cool and it makes sense.
I feel like that just Hollywoods it out more. Like that takes away the real experience of it.
It does, but like people who do documentaries now have this equipment,
right?
So it's not even like it's unheard of for them to have this equipment. So maybe it's a little.
I guess it's just
nitpicky
comparing
on my end.
Yeah, comparing it to everything else we watched with those 1 or 2 cameras.
And I'm really trying not to like. Well, it was different from the original, so I hate it.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm trying to be a little disconnected, and then they go in and they camp one night, right? And they don't even make it very far in, which is way different than the first one. Like they go about like 2 miles in, and they camp. And when they wake up, there's things hanging from the trees like there is in the original, right?
Same things?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, oh shit, we got to get out of here right now. So they start leaving, and they find out the conspiracy theory guy has like some rope or like string twine stuff in his bag that matches the things that were hung up. So he was faking it. He faked the first incident so that they would leave because he believes the rumors, right? And he just wanted to get proof that it exists, and then he wanted to get the hell out of the woods, right?
Okay.
So as they find this out, and they get real pissed, and they're like, just go 2 miles that way, and you should be at the cars. We don't want you with us anymore. And I can't remember if they just...
So they kick him out. They tell him to go back to the car.
Yeah, they tell him to fuck off. And then they... then they start walking, and they can't find the cars.
They start heading back in the direction?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they end up back at the same spot where they just camped. So already they're like an hour and a half ahead of the original movie.
Yeah, really.
Like they start getting confused and disoriented like real quick.
Yeah, at least the first one, you had like a lead to where there's a lot of Heather being cocky, like, no, it's this way. We're going the right way. Oh, okay, well, we'll just go south for this long, and then it's like you said. So that, they've
they have GPS instead of a map, right?
okay,
and so they're following the GPS to get back to the cars, and it circles them all the way back around, right? And they're like, we've been walking all day. There's no way we're back at the same spot. This is crazy. And like way early on, the black chick like steps on something as they're crossing some water, and she's got this big gash in her foot, and the one dude just happens to like be an EMT, so he kind of wraps up her foot or whatever. And there's more with that later. But so they camp another night, and they're like, as soon as we wake up, we'll head back to the cars and we'll get out of here tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to mention, the first night they all slept into like 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Oh wow. Yeah, come on, guys.
So they kind of thought that like the conspiracy theory guy like put like drugs in their drinks or something, and so they loop back around, they camp for the second night, and then when they wake up in the morning, it's like no, before they even wake up, they find the conspiracy theory guy again. Like he
alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like fucked up. Like they're both bleeding and they're like worn out, and they're like, when was the last time you saw us? And they were like, this afternoon. And he's like, it's been 5 days. So like time is different in the woods. Right.
That almost adds like a cool.
It's kind
of like a cool element. I hope it gets portrayed. Hope it gets brought to life in a good way. I think it's a kind of cool thing. Like,
I thought that was cool, and then I think they kind of ruined it because when they go to wake up in the morning, it's like, well, they take in the girl. The girl comes and stays with them, and the boyfriend's like, nah, fuck you guys. You guys are about to die. I'm out of here. I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna get stuck in these fucking woods.
Did it say how he got fucked up?
No, that's one thing I have a problem with. That dude still had a camera the whole time, right? So like, why didn't you get to see if all the footage was found? Why didn't we get his footage?
Ooh, that's
because someone edited this together. It's found footage, but they didn't just find the footage and then like lay it out sequentially.
Right.
It doesn't. So like, someone had to edit it, and there's a lot of like distortion where it's like the camera's turning on and turning off and shaking, and like it's camera distortion that you really don't see anymore, I think. And I thought it was just way overdone, like way too much. So anyway, they keep the chick. The dude runs off. When they wake up in the morning, it's still pitch black out.
What do you mean? Like it's
just dark for the rest of the movie. The sun never comes up.
What? And it's time is...
It's because time is skewed in the woods or whatever, but it just stays dark. And I think they really lose a lot of the like tension that the first one had during the day. Because the best parts of the first one was like they would go through the night and get freaked out, and then they had to deal with each other during the day while they were lost. So they don't have any sleep, they don't have any food.
The time change thing is cool, but that being all night, it feels like they're like trying to force like horror on you,
Yeah, it's like
we're trying to force you instead of using the tricks and the sounds and relying on all this other.
And there was a lot of big sounds. It almost sounded like footsteps, like there was like a giant in the woods. And like, I don't think that's what they were trying to portray, but I was like, I mean, maybe it's just because we just watched Into the Woods or whatever, but I was like, was there a giant out there? Like, trees kept falling over. They lost the drone early on, got stuck in a tree. And so right off the bat, it's like, this is moving, A, way too quick for being a Blair Witch movie. B, you don't get the tension of the daytime. C, it does feel like they're like trying to shove it down your throat, like this is supposed to be scary. And there is a lot of like freaky moments. A little bit later, I feel like I'm just talking forever, but like a little bit later.
Is there a big body count? Like, do they all die like in the first one? Does anyone make it out alive? Oh.
No. It's, well...
I mean, I guess I kind of like that because then it's almost like...
The ending was really... actually, the ending was kind of cool. I'll get there.
Okay, because I didn't like the ending of the first one.
That's one thing I thought was kind of neat about this one was the ending.
Okay.
So they're going, and it's night, and the conspiracy theory guy's girlfriend gets like snapped in half by something. I don't know. She like someone takes one of the little dolls, the little stick dolls, and breaks it. And as soon as they break it, like there's this like sound and like the girl like snaps in half.
Like by an unknown, like a force.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened. It's like, it's real
like
quick.
Back of the head to like
typical.
back of the feet or like.
Yeah, like. Oh. Yeah.
And you see it or like happens off screen?
It's a little too quick to kind of tell what's going on, and then you kind of see the aftermath.
Ooh.
It was okay. It was fine.
All right.
Black guy, I think, had already wandered off and died. And then the black chick has got the thing in her foot, right? Her foot is like got a cut in it, and she kind of feels things moving in it. It keeps like making her fall to her feet or fall to her knees or whatever. So they like unwrap her foot and check it out, and there's something like moving in there. And then like later she like pulls something out of her leg, like some kind of like slug or like weird creepy crawly thing, and like it had no point being in the movie because they didn't explain it, B, it never happened again.
Looks like it's a scene out of like the movie The Ruins.
It was just out of place.
Right, like it didn't. That has nothing relevant to the story.
Right. So it ends up being just obviously the main white dude and the main white chick at the very end, and they're running and they find the house finally, right? And I think he either hears something or kind of sees something in the window, and he's like, my sister's in there. And the chick's like, no, she's not. It's just a trick. We need to get out of here. And he's like, this is why I came here. So he goes into the house like an idiot.
Like an idiot.
And then she's out there for a while, and then you see something in the woods, like some kind of almost Slender Man.
You get to see actual something unlike the first one. Okay.
Yeah, some kind of Slender Man
already,
thing.
this part sounds interesting.
Right? And you're like, and that was pretty creepy. Like, all of it's pretty creepy, but... so she finally runs in the house, obviously, and runs into the basement. And then when she gets to the basement, conspiracy theory guy's there. And he's like, oh my God, you look just like I remember. Which implies to me that he's been there for a long time.
Yeah, for real. Okay.
And then he says something.
The goth conspiracy guy's there?
Yeah.
Is he's still fucked up and shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's like says something. Me and Justin kind of talked about it to see if we could kind of understand what he was saying. Something like, so now you got to do what she says or something, and like throws her in this trap door. So and you've seen in the trailers probably when she's like crawling in that like hole. So that's where that trap door leads, and she like gets stuck in the hole, and it's like a nightmare that I've actually had before, where like you're in like some kind of like tube or like tunnel or something, and it just gets smaller and smaller the farther you go.
Right.
And so she's trying to crawl, and she finally gets out, and she's like back in the house still, and so we're to the ending now, and you see this clip of her running with the camera. And she sees herself in a mirror, and it's like kind of distorted a little bit. And then she runs into this room, shuts the door, latches the lock. And then something else happens, blah, 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 and then it ends. But that part, her seeing herself in the mirror, running into the room and latching the lock, that's the video that she saw online. That the dude thought was his sister, was that chick the whole time. Like,
oh, shit.
The video that the conspiracy theory guy found was her video.
Whoa, all right.
That was cool, I thought.
It's like oh man, that's cool. That's a cool twist.
And Justin didn't get that part, so maybe I'm reaching, and maybe that's not what happened. But I'm fairly certain that's what I saw.
Makes sense with all the other time shit going on.
Yeah, and like she even said earlier, it's kind of suspicious that the tape that you found is the exact kind of tapes that your camcorder takes.
Yeah, that's cool. It's
because it was that tape. So I have to give it to them on that. I think that was a cool ending.
That's cool. I like shit like that. That kind of goes back to like Saw 2. When the end of the movie, it's all pre-recorded. Like I was like, oh my God, that is a cool. It's just like a fun little.
Yeah.
Like in your face, fuck you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
So that's cool, man. That's because I did not care for the first one. Like I thought the ending sucked. Well, I didn't even get the ending of the first one. If we're just going to talk about the first one and this one at the same time, compare them.
Let's go into the first one.
Like the end of the first one. They're in the house. They go up the stairs, because he's like, who's the missing guy? Josh, that's right. Josh, you're upstairs. And he's like, I hear you downstairs. Mike goes downstairs. You see his camera fall or whatever. And then you go to the black and white one with Heather. Mm-hmm. She comes down after him. Mike. A quick thing of him, like, looks like he's pissing in the corner or like standing there in the corner. And then it like falls down and that's it.
It has some. I think Derek actually explained a little bit of it to me. Maybe we need him here to do that. Phone a friend. It's something like the story. I think either told by one of the townspeople or something when they inquired about it. Was something that whoever would take them down in pairs, one would stand in the corner and not look. I guess so they couldn't look at it.
Oh my God, that makes a lot more sense.
And then he would like torture or whatever he would do to the.
I didn't even think about that. That's cool.
So I guess when she goes down there, since he's in the corner, she's getting tortured
or killed,
and then obviously he would be next, right?
That makes sense.
Oh man,
that's kind of cool.
Because he said he didn't want. He felt bad that the kid had to watch the other one die, so that's why he turned him around. At the corner.
Something like that. Then yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, That will justify
that's a little bit cooler.
That justifies the ending, but it does not. It doesn't save the rest of the movie.
If I am, or if that's a
no,
little
I'm pretty
weird,
sure that
help me out.
That makes sense.
sounds right. Yeah. Along with you said there's like a line about the camera tapes matching or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So it's like foreshadowing.
Set up and payoff.
That's cool, man. That helps.
Well, yeah,
that helps the movie, but it doesn't save it completely.
Yeah. No, I was still upset that we didn't get to see whatever the witch.
Right.
Like, and in my head, when I think witch, I immediately go to like Left 4 Dead. Like, she's scary. She is a gnarly cackle.
Were you thinking like white wispy kind of specter?
Not necessarily looks, but like in attitude and like Essence. I'm gonna kill the shit out of you when I see you. Or at least the way they're making her out to be.
I agree.
In this movie, so I was bummed we didn't get to see anything. No witch, not even a Slender Man looking guy in the distance. You do have the creepy stuff with like the rocks get put out their tents outside their stuff.
That happens in the new one as well.
So I thought that was creepy. And it sounded like that's what you could hear. Like every night when they were trying to like hear stuff, it to me, a couple nights sounded like rocks being popped.
See, I didn't like nothing. You couldn't understand anything.
Yeah,
I thought I heard some small dialogue. Josh, you could definitely hear like, quote unquote, Josh screaming. Help me, whatever. And that was cool. But like they would turn the lights off in the camera, and I get it's a kind of a timepiece now. God, it's weird to say that. And so it's obviously dark in their hand cams. But I was like, okay, I can't see anything. And there was a lot of that.
See, the appeal comes from it being real, right? So when you say that nothing gets explained, that's as real as it gets.
True.
Yeah, and nothing gets explained because...
and that's the reality of it.
Because, you can't just do an interview with the Blair Witch afterwards. Like, what was your motivation?
And when the camera light gets turned off, obviously it's real that you're not going to see... It's the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
There's no street lights. You probably can't see a moonlight through the trees. And I get that, but there was so much of it. And like I said, the background scary stuff wasn't enough for me to be like, oh my God, I feel for these guys. Like, I want you to feel for Josh, but I'm not like sitting here intensified, scared shitless,
if
don't
I
know what's
were
coming.
in their scenario, I absolutely would be.
And that's true. I can't say that.
Anything going on,
but I'm saying watching it,
I'd freak out.
Like, especially because this was the last one I watched. So especially after watching like Paranormal Activity and VHS, like this one to me didn't have the. There was some moments where I was kind of like, man, what are they gonna, what are they gonna find in the house?
See,
what's happening at night? But very rare.
To me, the appeal was like during the day, and I've already mentioned this, but like the tension, the terror of like night is coming. We need to figure out something now because I cannot make it through another goddamn night in these woods.
I mean, the first one when they walked back to the same spot, that was cool. The daytime shit's is the best part about this movie.
They're like that's the same log, and she's like, it can't be the same log.
And the fact that Mike kicked the fucking map in the creek.
Oh, what a fucking
I was like,
jackass.
She was like, you're going to be the reason I'll die or whatever. And I was like, yeah, 100%. If I were Josh...
Do you think she could actually read the map, or do you think that was bullshit? Like, do you think...
Well,
maybe because the woods kind of do whatever they want to.
Yeah,
maybe she was reading the map correctly, but the woods were just so weird that...
And I totally get you when you say you bring a map, you're expected that you probably know how to read it. So the fact that even if she can't and she's like... I totally know where we're going, guys. No, I'm confident. Just trust me. Yeah, she doesn't want to be like, I'm wrong. It sucks admitting you're wrong. You've been leading your team in the wrong way the whole time.
Yeah.
If that was going on. But after Mike kicked it in the creek,
Mike became the bad
all
guy.
Blame shifted to him, and I'd have been like,
Mike was definitely
fuck
the bad
you.
guy.
This is your fault.
Definitely, I agree. You guys talked about when they circled around back to the same spot and they freaked out. I guess according to IMDb, I don't remember everything about it, but it is them just filming, right? Like, they were. I think they were given like, they knew kind of where to go and like what to create, as far as like some of that stuff. But they filmed under the premise that it was a real story too.
All the townspeople were fake.
Imagine them filming this like, and then thinking that this is real. So even though you're filming a movie, and in that movie you're making a documentary, but you think it's about something real. So when you're out in those woods. And you're the only three out there, and shit is going down, I definitely would be freaking out.
Because part of it's
their
like
path did bring them back. Like they did not I don't know if it was planned by the director or the behind the scenes guys to loop them back around or what it was, but it was not. They did not know that was going to happen. So their expressions there are completely real.
I heard a lot of this is like real expressions.
Yeah, they were given like less and less food each day to like make them angry at each other and like get them riled up.
I heard a lot of the shit between Heather and Mike, I think, was like legit. You know,
awesome.
not like
I heard
I'm fucking, but you know, it helped that they had beef.
IMDb said, I think according to one of them, or watching the unedited footage, like all of it straight through, that Josh and Heather actually argue more, but they edited it in a way that they get along more because they didn't want to seem that, like, give the impression that both were ganging up on Heather the whole time, which I guess is what really happened. So I thought that was interesting because Josh, you think, is like her tie-in. You know?
You think he's the mellow guy. He's the one that's always like, guys, we need to work together today.
He's the one with the long hair, right?
Yeah, he's a.
Yeah, I liked him. He was the one that was
like
the best.
Mike and Heather didn't know that Josh was gonna disappear, or they thought it was gonna happen later. So like when because it just cuts, he wakes up the next day and he's gone. They thought they were gonna like follow up, and it was gonna be planned, and he disappeared unbeknownst to them. And I guess so. Some of that is also real. And I just thought that's cool little shit to help make the movie, you know. But again, the symbol, the stuff in the hanging tree didn't bother, I didn't have anything to do with that. That was just
you almost don't know enough about the Blair Witch to like want to be invested in the Blair Witch.
If they looked up a legend about it, and it showed that symbol, and they went and found that shit in the trees, that would have been
like,
oh
you're just
shit!
To
Now you know you're in
this
fucked
is
up
all
territory.
For her. You don't really know it. Like, there's no concrete like stuff given. I don't know. I was just kind of.
I almost would have liked a little more confirmed backstory.
Like they were very okay chasing. Like, all right, we've got like 3 details about this witch. Let's go hunt one.
Like, we know where it's at. We know
they
what
went in
she
very
did.
Unprepared.
But I think they're just amateur filmmakers, and it really shows.
And I agree with that too. But I think even
because even the way they did like
have more
the narration, when she like was filming and she was like
when she's filming like her actual documentary,
and she's doing the what do you call that when you narration. So she's trying to present herself as a professional documentarian, and obviously this is like maybe her first or second project, and so she went in half-cocked, and that makes a little more sense. That almost, like I said, makes it more real. Like everything that I feel like this movie did right is how real it felt, how real it looked. I would be terrified if this really happened to me.
It's definitely got a real look. The actors in it convinced me, that it could convince someone that they're real.
I agree. They were convinced.
There was never any part that looked like it was scripted or where it was like set up. It looked legit.
I think it was good acting in a different sense than we're used to talking about good acting. Because when you watch a movie, you're not watching realistic situations necessarily.
You're watching someone portray a fake character,
right? And when you're watching this is like they were good at acting because they were just normal people.
Yeah, and it was, like I said, it wasn't like,
I don't know if like raw is the word.
Right?
Raw is the word I think I would describe it as. Raw, natural.
Yeah, So I think in that sense,
actually, I like that about all the movies we watched about this.
Yes,
that's what I was gonna say. All 3 of these movies did awesome at that. Like there was never any time where I was like, found footage my ass. I feel like this is, I feel like that guy just reading a script off the camera or something. All of them had.
And I'm sure they probably were filmed that way, like a lot of improv or a lot of just like...
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, well, I think both Paranormal Activity and Blair Witch had like manuscripts, like with just like, okay, here's this scene, here's what needs to be covered, how you get there, the journey is yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go with it. I want it to be natural. Just make sure that you cover this point. This has to be said.
Do you guys have anything else about Blair Witch before we move on?
Like I said, didn't care for it.
Did you ever see the sequels?
No.
Okay, me neither.
Like I said,
don't want to.
Senders, let us know if they were any.
Not interested in seeing the sequels, but I am.
So you want to give it a rating?
Ooh,
it's hard to do.
The first one,
it's hard to do because there's so much like horror significance. Like
the bit about the ending, it was kind of like, oh, okay, well that's
bumped
it
up a little bit.
Yeah, bumped it up like a half a point, if you want to call them points.
5.
You going 5?
God, I feel like, I think I'm gonna settle with 5. I was gonna be really hard on it, but 5 is where it's at, I guess. Like I said, it's got a few good points in its corner, but that's
it's tricky for me because there is a lot of things I feel like it did right, and it's obviously the cultural significance of it leading to other found footage horror movies, some that I really enjoy, and like it paved the way. And I try to think about like if I had saw this in theaters before I knew that it was fake.
Yeah, if I saw this at that time,
I went and saw Fourth Kind with someone. Was it one of you guys?
No.
I saw it on Netflix.
I thought it was so good in theaters, and then I went home and looked it up and found out it was fake, and
Me too.
I felt lied to.
Me too.
But it's cinema's job to lie to us and get us. It's almost like magic where you want to be tricked.
They're like, just remember, this is all fake.
Right. So I'm gonna go 7 because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. I see what they were going for. I feel like they nailed it for the time. It was obviously, like you said, really good, and as far as money goes,
Right.
I'm gonna go 7.
So I feel like,
and if we're gonna go for the new one, I'm gonna go 6.
okay, well, yeah, this to me, this looked like one of those like, oh, cool, a franchise that's been dead for a long time, so let's put out another stupid sequel. That sounds good.
You know what? Actually, I think on Twitter I put 5 out of 10
for the new Blair Witch.
for the new one. Yeah, so it's a sliding scale. It's whatever mood I'm in.
This is your like more thought out like.
You've had some time to
Yeah.
reflect.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, 6.
And now that we've flushed out the
Yes.
pros
I
and
did
cons.
read that the original Blair Witch, I guess during test screenings there was people like getting up and leaving, and the producers I guess were like, oh shit, they don't like this, and they found out like it was like so intense, that
because they
they
thought
just
it was
couldn't
real.
handle the intensity. I feel like if Paranormal Activity came out at that time, they'd have shit their fucking
People
pants.
probably would have died.
I thought Paranormal Activity was so intense,
Okay.
and I've seen it before.
Let's jump into Paranormal Activity.
Yes,
then.
I mean, I
Okay.
don't want to. Okay, yeah. So what would you get? Oh, 5, and
7.
you give it a 7.
And then I gave the new one a 6.
Sinners, comment on Tyler being generous here. Sinners, comment on what you think about
And I
the Blair
don't think
Witch.
I'm being generous. I think it's it's an important movie in horror. And
This
I think,
this was on like the 1001 movies to see before you die or whatever like that.
I think whether or not
That's-
you like it, I think it deserves respect. You know what I mean?
It's the OG like natural like suspenseful horror.
found footage.
Yeah, found footage. Because I think now it's trending more now. It used to be every like
They
3,
did
4,
it-
5 years one would come out.
They did it before it was cool.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
it takes is one hit for every other studio to like want to emulate.
And
that.
it's
you
and
can see with comic book movies.
whether
But
you
it's-
like it or not, it's the highest grossing one of its kind. So you have to give it that. It made $250 million. Whatever you think about the idea, whatever you think about the story, whatever we think, that's I'm the fan too. It made $250
Is that
million.
adjusted for inflation? Do you know?
I don't
Like
know.
that's by today's standard.
I think it was at the time.
Okay.
Which and even at the time,
that's a bigger deal then.
God damn, yeah. Blockbusters were making that at that time, so that's impressive for this film. I just didn't care for it.
Well, and for you to say like every studio copies it or whatever, I think found footage is definitely at home in horror.
I agree.
I think
Yeah, I
horror
agree.
is better for found footage.
A
than
comedy
any
found
other.
footage wouldn't be good.
I mean, we've seen Chronicle, we've seen an action found footage, and that was amazing. And I think there needs to be more of that.
It's got some sci-fi. I
Well,
mean, like Cloverfield, but that works because it's
Horrorfield is like a disaster movie, which works.
Yeah, I
I
guess
don't
you
know.
could put it.
I can't honestly tell you anything about Cloverfield. It was so shaky. I really don't remember.
Which is
it.
a shame because I fucking love Cloverfield.
I really love the movie. Yeah.
I saw 10 Cloverfield Lane. Totally different, but great movie if you guys haven't seen it. So yeah, Paranormal Activity. I'll say right off the bat, I love the third one. And we didn't watch the third one, obviously, but
I don't know that I've seen it. I've seen the first two, but it's been. I
you
haven't
like
seen
the
them
first
since
two?
they came out. I enjoyed the first one. I don't remember enough about the second or anything about the second.
I really like the first one.
I
I don't know if I say really like. I like it a lot.
the third one blows the first one out of the water, I think. Have you seen the third one, Chris?
I haven't seen any past the first one.
I think I had a hard time probably getting into the sequels because after the first one came out and then everybody was like, it's real. No, it's not. That just all the sequels that kept coming out, I was like,
I never saw the first one, heard the hype, and was like so turned off by it. Like, oh, it's real, it's not real, blah, blah, blah. I looked it up. It wasn't real, obviously. Second one came out, wasn't interested. Third one, the girl I was dating and two of our friends wanted to go see it, so I was like, why not? And I liked the third one so much, I went back and saw the first two. And once you see the third one, the first two are like very tame. There's a lot of action in the third one. And what's cool about the franchise, I think, is the first two take place at about the same time.
Wait, the second one?
First 1 and 2, because it's the first
like
one is
running
Katie,
parallel?
and the second one is her sister, right?
Oh, the second one's your sister. I thought they were both with the same chick. Okay.
No,
that makes-
they're
But
sisters,
isn't her
and they
husband?
happen at the same time.
Oh.
While the shit's happening at Katie's house, the shit's happening across town at her sister's house.
How come the sister doesn't say anything in the few scenes she's got with You know,
was that her sister?
Do they explain that?
Her sister's
that was her friend, I think.
I think that's just like
I thought that was her
neighbor
sister.
or whatever.
I think that was her name.
Oh,
and
maybe
they
she
mentioned,
just talked about her sister.
They mentioned, if you remember in the first one, about how, the stuff happened when we were kids, and like...
I thought she didn't see it.
It stood at the end of my bed, but she could see it too.
Right.
Like
so then the second one goes in a little more to that, I believe, and then the third one is when they were kids.
Cool. Like when that shit was happening?
Yes. And it's like... And obviously they were too little, so they probably repressed a little bit of it, and like... Really good. So, I mean, maybe we'll do 1 through 4 eventually.
Get a franchise.
The fourth one was just all right. It almost had the same thing as the new Blair Witch, where it was like the technology was different. They did a thing with like the Xbox, what's it, Kinect?
The Kinect, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which was okay, and
Like
there's a
just
lot of
trying
like
to utilize the camera.
It seems like that's the direction it has to go. Cameras get better,
and crafty, like, you know, more unique, like in you know, console hardware and things like that.
Yeah, so it to me it makes sense.
And I think that's cool because it eliminates the need for your actors to run around with cameras. Like, you know, like, I mean, like,
well, one
like
thing
obviously
in
Blair Witch, there wasn't going to be a camera in a tree, like, you know.
Right.
And I think you have to
camera
embrace
through
that.
your-
I think that's one thing you have to embrace with found footage is like, why would there be a camera here? You need to know before you just...
Right, sure.
You can't just be like,
if we saw a found footage shot of all 3 actors running through the woods, but they both got their cameras, we're going to be like, who's filming
it
that?
totally makes sense for that because it's usually like the center of a room. It's probably got a pretty wide shot. You can see things, right?
They talk about how the Kinect does this thing where, like, how it tells movement is it projects these green dots, and you can see it on the camera at night or something. So it shows the green dots, and then it'll show something moving, and it'll show the green dots moving, but there's nothing there. So it was a cool effect. Maybe I give it a little less credit than it deserves. Marked Ones was pretty dumb. It's like one of the spin-offs.
Right. The 5th then?
Well, it's a spin-off.
Like, oh, okay.
And I don't think...
It looked dumb.
Maybe
it
the
wasn't
second
great.
one,
It
but
was
I don't
okay,
think
but it wasn't
any of them have box office-wise climbed to the top as, like, the first one.
Yeah, the first one...
Because I was on a date actually to see the first one as well. And I remember I was like, well, my date, I think, like, hit her eyes for half the movie. But, you know, I was like, oh, my God, this is like... Because when it cuts to the time, you know, at the nighttime, you see the time, it doesn't just instantly show the thing. It makes you, like, sit there for... Sometimes it feels like 30 seconds.
I was always wondering.
It's so long. Like, you're just like, what am I... Okay, am I watching the back room? Am I watching her? Am I
Yeah.
watching the door? What am I watching? Oh, my God. Like, what's going to happen?
That's almost cool. It's like, where do I look?
Yeah.
That's the scary thing. It's like, where am I supposed to be looking?
Because is it going to be... It's going to be scary if you're looking around and you happen to be, like... So many times I'm looking at the back door thinking I'm going to see a shadow.
And then you look up and she's like getting out of bed and you're like, why is she
See,
getting out of bed?
What's going on?
I
Oh
made
my
a
God.
rookie mistake of like watching it on a like massive 60-inch screen and being like just enough too close that I had to like almost damn near like turn my head to see the bed and the hallway. So I was afraid I was missing it every time something was going on.
I see. I thought I was going to miss
What's
it
taking
too.
so long? Did I miss it? Did
But
I do rewind?
Like
It
that
freaked me
just...
out.
I had all 3 of these movies. I had all the lights off. It's
I did
me
too.
alone in my den watching these movies. I texted you, Nick, and you were like, no, man, I'm looking to get freaked out. And I was like, okay, all right. So am I. I'm going in there. I'm not going to cover my eyes. Sometimes I do. But I'll admit that.
So sometimes you got to tie your shoe.
What
right
did you
when
guys
things are
think
going
was
on.
the scariest one?
I think I actually got a jump out of something in VHS. that we'll get to.
Yeah.
I
VHS freaked me out.
think Paranormal Activity was freakier. Well, oh, God, I don't know. Because VHS, you got like a
I
handful
can't wait
of
to get
shit.
into VHS.
Yeah,
but
so-
let's finish up with Paranormal Activity.
I don't know. I just thought it was really good. Both Mika and Katie.
Katie.
Yeah, they were awesome. I liked that the spiritual
Toby.
Toby, the
And the third
demonologist
one,
or whatever.
Well, I don't know if it's... Oh, I was talking about the ghost. Or whatever it is.
Oh, well,
It's-
I was talking about
its name is Toby in the third one.
I like the demonologist.
I don't know if it's the same demon or spirit or whatever.
comes in.
Well, the
yeah,
demonologist
I'm gonna-
disappeared.
Maybe I have. That's the third one?
Yeah.
Maybe I have seen it. The name sounds familiar.
Toby.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
But
anyways-
maybe in the second one, it's the girl who could see Toby, so maybe she uses his name.
Sure.
But in the third one, you figure out about Toby.
I like that. You know, he comes in, gives him a consultation. You know, and he's like, okay, something's here, blah blah blah. And then when he comes in, he steps like a foot in that house, and he's like, oh,
I need to go.
Oh, when he comes back,
he's like, I need to get out of here. And to me, whether you fake the shit or not, you know, I'm like, can't. This is crap.
You're
I
not
guess.
getting money if you're walking in
Yeah.
and walking immediately out the door.
I feel like, yeah, you know, just like if I brought a dude to investigate something, he walks in, an expert walks in, and he's like, no, I can't do this, man. I can't. game over, I'm done. I'd be like, what the fuck, man?
Like you came all this way.
What? Dude, no. I need you to experience
Yeah,
with me
I thought
because
they
I
said
feel
that
like
he
I'm
had to
losing my
fly
mind.
wherever they were. I thought like the first time he was coming around, I thought she said something about he's like flying in or something. I could
The
be
demonologist
wrong.
had to fly in because like
The dude he wanted
the
them to talk to
demonologist
had to
never showed up.
fly in.
Right?
Yeah.
He was gone the whole time.
yeah, well, she waited too long to call him, and then they said he was out of the country. I kind of thought like maybe he disappeared or something, but I could be wrong on that.
Right.
I don't know. I kind of got the idea like maybe he's just like, whatever. I'll check,
Either way,
I'm
he
not-
did show up.
Yeah,
The first guy returned, right?
Either way.
Well, I think with the recommendation from the first guy, I think the second guy would have showed up. You know what I mean?
That's true. I guess if he was like,
They were like,
I walked in the house and tear dropped my way ass back
even
out
if
of
you're
there.
you're running a grift or whatever, like
Right.
it's like, hey man, I'm with this family. I told him it's a demon. You got to show up. You know? But obviously you're led to believe that these are legit people and they know what they're talking about.
I like that it is what it is. It starts off, the guy's like, hey man, some
There's
shit's
a
going
lot
on.
of paranormal
we're gonna
activity going
we're
on."
gonna record this stuff.
One thing
and it's not like the Blair Witch where it sets up, it almost forces a setup of a story. This guy just pops the camera on and he's like,
Yeah, first
test
off, this
shot,
movie
test
dives
shot.
right in.
Babe,
So
say
much to
something
the
across
point,
the room.
I thought I had actually started it later in the movie.
I think that's good because it implies that something's been going on, and then he bought the camera.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, oh, I just had this really nice
That's true,
camera
yeah,
laying around.
They don't put you through the tutorial. They're like, hope you're ready. We're here to scare.
I like
the cameras are on.
I like that they don't specifically know what it is. Like he's not like, we have a demon in the house, I'm getting him. He's like, shit's been going on. We're gonna find out if this is.
And he tries
all in our heads,
he tries
or
to
if this
play like
is-
I'm the man, so I need to take care of my house.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
I did, but I also like, hey man, maybe let an expert help you. Shit's obviously getting
when you got the
escalated.
Ouija board, that's where I was like, she asked you not to do that.
She kind of
Maybe-
knows more about the situation.
And I
than you
thought
do.
the macho shit I thought was cool at first, but he definitely, like, the whole time, if I saw some of that shit on the footage, I wouldn't have done near the shit he did.
Yeah, no.
If once those footsteps pop on, I'd have been like,
they
okay.
weren't human either,
oh my God.
right?
No,
Like-
they weren't human.
Which
Like,
I thought
I
was
would have
cool.
been like,
it wasn't
oh my
like a
fucking
footprint.
God.
It was a,
Yeah.
it was a footprint of something clearly.
a hoof, maybe.
That's kind of what I thought.
Did you get hoof?
I didn't
I almost
really-
thought like
I thought
didn't
like a
overthink it.
triangle prong
Yeah,
kind of.
Maybe I don't know. I wasn't really.
That's what, like, but the shadow, like, if I had seen, like, he shows her the shadow, I was like, why are you still in the house? What the fuck, man?
Yeah, and it's
like, I got goosebumps just like, talking about it.
I would
there,
not
like-
have been in the house long enough for my wife to get drugged down the hall and then hang out afterwards and be like, oh, it's totally okay.
Well, she was like, we should stay.
Well, she did go through that phase, but I would have left after that, not like, okay, let's wait.
That
till
was
he's
such a
back the
cool
next
effect
morning.
too, like the wife getting pulled out.
Yeah.
That's a shot that was really good. She starts getting pulled out, and she starts screaming for him, and the door slams, and then you see him wake up, try to figure out what's going on, hear her screaming, realize what's going on, jump out of bed, and start running. Like it happened in
He
real
didn't just-
time.
Yeah, he didn't just like, because as an actor, you know it's gonna happen. He didn't just like instantly, I'll save you, honey, over the bed to the door,
Yeah.
already like diving after her, and the fact that she gets drugged all the way down the hall.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's no sleigh ride. Like she goes a long ways through their house.
Like I was just like, oh my god.
Once I got her back, and it looked like he was probably like, her leg is being jerked, and he's got her arm because he's like, let her go, right? So it looks like there's probably a struggle. Once I got her, we'd have left. There would have been no
according to the expert, it's not.
Oh shit, that's
It's
right.
not contained
It's her.
to
It's
the
her,
house.
not the house.
That's her. You're right.
See, I kept forgetting that too, because I was like, would have been gone. Oh nope, I guess I wouldn't. Like,
Okay, you're right. And they even bring that up, like I think like 2 or 3 times in the movie about that. Yeah,
he
you're right.
should have been like, honey, I
Rookie
gotta.
mistake.
And it does, like, I don't want to spoil the third one for you guys, but if you, they do leave at a certain point. They leave the house, like the 2 girls who are adults in the first 2, so they're young girls, and then their parents leave and go to their grandma's house, and shit follows them to their grandma's house. So, I mean, obviously they didn't test it in this movie, but it does follow.
It is something they like follow through and stick to.
See, I like that. No, even knowing this is fake, I was still just so like, stricken and like intense with that. And even though I know Blair Witch is fake, I didn't have that feeling. So that's why I put this one above. And it's
See,
it's
to
like I
me,
said,
Blair
it's-
Witch felt realer.
like I said, if I should have watched that one first, and then Paranormal Activity. And I'm kind of kicking myself now because I feel
it kind of went in the order that they came out. Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Paranormal.
I feel like I ruined the.
Would either two of these movies have been what they were if people didn't think that they were real when they came out?
I think.
I think.
Could we have been reviewing two other found footage movies?
I think Paranormal Activity.
Somebody thought those were real and not these.
I think Paranormal Activity is still good, knowing it's not real. I think Blair Witch definitely.
But if there wasn't
detracts
that, like,
from it.
Has the
if there wasn't
of...
that launch of like, it's real. Like if it had just come out and been a found footage, like every other found footage movie that we accept is just
if
a
I
fake
watch
movie.
if I watch The Fourth Kind, I'll tell you, because I watched it thinking it was real and loved it. If I watch it knowing it's fake and I hate it, then we'll know.
This was my second time watching Paranormal
But that could
Activity.
be a biased opinion. I mean, it might need
That's what I'm saying.
fresh movie.
The first time I saw Paranormal Activity was in theaters. So that was 2009.
But you went
you know
under
what?
the suspicion that it was
No,
real.
I knew it was fake when I saw it for the first time.
I watched it again, obviously knowing it's fake. And like I said, I didn't remember exactly what's going to happen. It's been like 5 or 6 years. But I was still like, oh my God, like, this is intense. I am, ooh.
First time I watched it, I knew it was fake, and I enjoyed it. So
I wish I had the theater experience, which is something I've said about it since it came out.
I had the third one in theaters, and maybe that was.
I didn't want to go after the first two came out because of in my head I'm just like sequels, nope. But the first one I do wish that I had. And I probably could have. I just wish I had capitalized.
The date I went on obviously was in theaters. Paranormal Activity. It was crowded. Like I said, my date hid behind her eyes for half the movie. Every time there was a night scene,
so
boom,
you had to be real macho, right?
Yeah. So even in front of her, I was like, "There's other people here. I have to, I'm no pussy." But I think I jumped like 2 or 3 times in theaters, and I don't like to jump because I'm not the guy the movie's gonna get.
I feel like
I'm gonna get the
everybody
movie. If
looks
anything.
at me when I jump.
They're all like,
I feel like they all jump at the same time. I feel like everybody's
Nerd.
like, "Look at that guy, nerd, beat his ass.
He ain't a man.
Let's jump him after the movie."
Hey, shave his beard off.
Yeah,
cut his hair.
Cut his hair.
Take his sunglasses. Yeah, I'm like you, man. So I mean, like Paranormal Activity had
like a sign is over my head saying I just jumped and like you should laugh.
And it showed a lot of real life-ism, like them fighting about what to do and stuff. Like that's like it's just like Blair Witch. That's cool to me. I like seeing that stuff. It makes me feel like it's not just
hokey.
Like a linear story. There's obstacles. The Ouija board scene was cool. I wish we got a clue, like more of a clue or something as to what it spelled out.
Yeah.
Obviously he made like this little list or whatever.
I bet there's theories online.
So, okay, wait. Another thing about that, the fire. It wasn't burned, was it? Like, did the fire spell something?
I think that's part of the thing.
It burned part of the board. Like it burned something into the board, and the wife was like, just get rid of it.
But nothing looked like charred or anything.
It was melted. Like, you know how it's got the plastic kind of seal over the top? I think it was like melted.
Yeah.
It mostly the whole time I was like, I can't see anything on this board.
It mostly just looked like the thing was like heavily dragged on. Like you could see the thing where it like turned.
So I think it was like burned, like
etched in on them. Yeah. So that's where I was like, I kind of wish we knew, like, if later on they found out it spelled Katie or it spelled death.
Wasn't he trying to figure it out?
Yeah, but you don't get to see the list of options either.
Well, I'm sure people have paused.
He just says something about like Diane or something like that.
Yeah, he says a few names, but nothing. Where Katie was like, "Oh, that
listeners, let us know if you
like if it spelled Toby." I guess at the time they didn't know it was going to be like.
Well, maybe they did. I feel like they had to have planned it out because that's one thing that's great. At least up until 3, it's great as a trilogy for sure. 4 was almost like a little bit like reaching.
It was like Pirates of the Caribbean.
You know what? Actually, in 4, Katie's in 4. She lives across the street from a family. Oh man, actually.
See now
I kind of want to watch 4 again.
I have to go watch all these. The director Oren Peli, it was filmed in his own home, and I heard
that's the director's home.
He had to do a bunch of remodeling to make this happen. Like I guess the hallway carpet upstairs was all. The hallway was carpet, like I guess.
And he wanted to drag her through.
So he intentionally
put hardwood in. He
put the handrails on the stairs because I guess it didn't have any. But I feel like that's a really unsafe thing. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
That's odd, but okay.
So he made altercations so that this could happen. And filmed in his own home. Like I said with Kevin Smith, like dude, this guy had a little more studio backing, I think. Yeah. But this guy went the way and was like, hey, I'll take this out because if this movie does good, that'll be covered. I'll have that loan paid off like that.
Well,
that's cool, man.
And like you said, it was a low budget with a high payoff.
Exactly. And that was cool. I heard Steven Spielberg got a copy of this because he was like a producer. The studio's producer. He was watching it at night and I guess turned it off like partway through because he got so like intense. He said the next day he went back in the daytime and finished it, and he said he loved it. And I was like, that's because he had something to do with
it from Spielberg. I mean,
he had some, what's that one? The girl on the TV.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, because he had something to do with that, and he said that was pretty scary. So I was like, that's cool. Like, if Spielberg says something, man, you take it to heart. Like, that guy is a god amongst the Hollywood guys. So
one thing, like the Blair Witch, you don't get to see what it is,
but you get a shadow.
But that's realism, man.
I mean, I know, but you know, and if those are like non-human footprints, does it have human hands to work the Ouija? Like, did it just rub a hoof on it? You know, like,
I'm kind of just that's what you get when you go
there,
for real.
But it's just like, you know.
I'm okay. I'm okay with it just for the fact that like
and you hear it like growl or something, right? Like at one point, like it sort of snarls or something. I thought,
and you can see when it's breathing on her, like her hair moving.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I did see that. Like, and that was another part that because it was visible to the viewer, so her husband being right there would have seen it, and he just reacts just like or doesn't.
Well, he doesn't
at all,
see
really.
it.
I feel like one movie they like put powder on him or like throw a blanket on him or something, like so you can see the shape of the figure, but it's still
that's a cool idea. If that hasn't been done, we're gonna do it.
Well,
if that hasn't been done. Oh well, damn. Real quick before we jump into VHS, okay, this had 2 endings.
I only watched
what. Damn, you only watched one?
Oh, I didn't know it had 2.
We should have switched. I should have gave you the DVD, and I should have kept.
It popped up on the DVD, and I was like, you know, I think I was going to come back to it.
Did you watch
both of them? No, I didn't. And so I was about to say, because the ending of this one, because the shit gets worse, you know, gradually worse, and Heather, like she's down the stairs.
Oh yeah, that made me mad.
Mika
you don't
runs
see
down
anything
there.
That happens down
you don't know what happened to him, and he like flies up the stairs. Right, she's like thrown up there.
That's the one that I saw.
And she come towards the camera and gets like a Bilbo Baggins giving Frodo the mithril, you know, and he's like, like his demon face. She gets like one of those, right? Like a demon face on the camera. She
sort of like, rushes the camera and then it just pales off.
And so I was wondering, like, what was the alternate cut? Like, does Mika do that to her or something? Because I was like, no, not Mika.
Yeah, while I do agree that was super scary.
I do wish I would have seen.
Well, yeah, like, come on, man, for real.
Yeah.
Don't get to see anything.
And then, like, you just hear, like, footsteps coming up the stairs. Like, it's pitch black.
Okay, I got the endings.
Okay, alternate ending. What happens? Wait, there's more than one?
Yeah, so the original is the one we saw. And then Paramount alternate ending. And this ending available as alternate ending on the home releases of the film, which is what we saw. Katie gets out of bed and stands staring at Mika as she did in the theatrical ending, except she does not move to Mika's side of the bed. After 3 hours, she goes downstairs and screams, waking Mika, who runs downstairs. The same screams as heavy footsteps are heard. After the moment of silence, Katie re-enters the room, covered in blood, with the kitchen knife. After closing the locked bedroom door, she approaches the camera and promptly slits her own throat before collapsing dead. The scene fades to black. I actually have seen that one now that I hear it. Unfilmed alternate ending. A third alternate ending was written in which a possessed Katie would corner Mika and bludgeon him with his camera while viewers watched the camera's point of view. This version was deemed too complicated and too brutal to shoot.
I don't know about too brutal, but I think over those, I like the one we got. Her killing Mika with, you know, because there's already, you don't know a lot about the ghost, so not knowing about the death kind of makes sense. So you go downstairs and all of a sudden this demon thing who can kill you. Did you see the bite mark on her? Dude.
Yeah.
That thing had how many teeth? Pointy teeth? No, thank you. So her killing him with a knife and then like running up would have been like, what? You know, I like that we got to see a little bit of the demonness inside her with her little snarly face at the end. I was freaked out, so.
Yeah. Now that I'm like thinking about it, I think the second one, the sister's pregnant, right? I think I feel like she has the baby, and I think Katie takes the baby in the end, right? And then the fourth one.
In the second one?
Yes.
Well, I thought you said it was a film that's.
Yeah, Katie.
Katie's still alive.
When you see Katie, like, that's what's cool. After that happens, she leaves and goes straight to the sister's house and steals the baby, right? And then in the fourth one, she moves in across the street from these people, and she has a kid, and the kid's older. Boom. So that's one thing I think the franchise does really well.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool thing. Out of 10, what do you guys want to give Paranormal Activity here? I think, I don't know. Like I said, I liked a lot of this. I'm gonna, I might give it like an 8.5. I'm not gonna lie, 8.5 or 9.
6.5.
I'm gonna go 7. I'm gonna stay 7. 7.
Okay.
7.
Why so low? Why? I thought this was.
It was good, but the third one's way better.
We didn't do the third one. What about you, Nick? Why?
Just, I wanted to see something and we didn't. And like I said, I didn't have the theater experience, so it was creepy, not scary.
Well, we got
very creepy.
Yeah. We got an easy week this week. If you guys got time, watch the third one.
I might watch them all. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with 8.5. Man, that sucks that you guys.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
7's good.
Yeah,
7's a good.
Yeah, it's just,
you know.
VHS might be my favorite.
Ooh,
thinking about it.
I'm so happy to hear you say that. I was worried you guys weren't gonna like VHS.
I've heard good things about it since it came out. I've not heard too many people say that they didn't like it. So this was a good excuse to watch it.
So basically, the premise of VHS is and like I told you guys this before you watched it. Was that good advice to tell you?
Actually, no. I actually wanted more of the outside story.
Really?
Yeah, really? Yeah.
Because there's an outside story where some people got to break in and steal a videotape, and as they put videotapes in to watch to see if it's the tape they need, you get, was it 5? 4 or 5?
Five, I think.
5 individual horror movies, right?
All found footage.
All found footage. And those 5 movies to me were amazing, and the outside was just like blah.
I don't know. I thought the outside part was the beginning was really weird. Like run around, and they gotta get clips of girls being
they're like sexually harassing.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of like, okay, whatever. Like
there's no like about it. They are sexually harassing these girls.
So did you watch that? When I first watched it, I was like, because I had it suggested to me by someone else, and I was like, this is what they wanted me to watch? This is crap.
Yeah. But once they start going into the house and then
they put in
they're down in the basement. Yeah, they're like, and then each one is like disappearing. And it wasn't until after the second one disappeared I realized they're disappearing.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was still the first guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, something happened. And then when it comes back to him and the old man is gone.
Yeah.
And obviously some dude was downstairs with them in the basement, presumably, I guess, the old man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this just got, like, the outside story just got so much better. I don't know why Tyler said.
I wanted to see more of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess when I think about it, all I think about is the very beginning. I just wanted to make sure you guys didn't turn it on, see the beginning, and go, this is crap, and turn it off.
No. See, I almost didn't want to watch this because Netflix tricked me because I didn't know the ratings were
based on your preferences.
What it thinks you're going to like.
Based on your other ratings. So the more stuff you rate is the smarter Netflix gets about telling you ratings. So if you watch a movie and you really like it, give it some stars.
See, I don't rate anything. So
I'll start rating some stuff.
Oh, okay. Because it said 1.5 or 2 stars. So I was going to be like, this sucks. But I'm glad I watched it. It was actually way better than I thought it was going to be.
It's so good.
I guess we'll just jump into the first.
Oh my god.
The first one.
It started off with such a good one.
Oh.
The first.
I was in my basement by myself watching this movie. The first time I saw it. Not this week. I didn't watch it this week. I've seen it enough. And I was like scared. Like I was like, this lady is terrifying.
Almost right off the bat, I had a weird feeling about her. Like her eyes were just so big.
I like you.
And I if that's her, that's.
She reminded me of that girl from Pitch Perfect. If you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
But like one who sort of speaks, but
she just had like an interesting, and then she's like doing like kind of some weird gestures and like not really talking a lot. So instantly you're kind of like,
she's almost kind of like you. I couldn't really decide if she was attractive or not.
I think she was cute.
She was cute. Yeah.
If my mission was what their mission was that night, I
would have gone
where it gets sort of.
I would have gone for the girl and hopefully passed out with her and not died. So
I don't know that. I'm just saying I don't know that I would have chased that girl. I'd have been like.
What the part for me where it got terrifying was when they were in the bathroom, and like. She was like fucking that dude up, and like she was in between them and the door. I was like, oh no.
I don't know. I think
he at one point he looks down. He kind of like scopes her as she's laying down or getting frisky with the like asshole guy, and then it scans her feet, and I could tell something was weird. And he's just like, what's with their feet? It's like a real quick kind of shrug off line. But like right there, I was like, what was wrong with her feet? And I was trying to think of it, but then they just kind of blow through it. So I was like, well, maybe it was. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it.
Nah, man. Right when it panned over her feet, like you had that feeling in your body where like a weight just drops because something's up. that to me was like, what the fuck? Like
I was almost waiting for something to happen, and then seeing that, I was like, "Sheesh, what's gonna happen?"
So, obviously, I thought these were all like, because we were doing paranormal, I thought it was something paranormal, and then each one was like
different.
You know, there's like a slasher one, this weird one that we're talking about. I don't want to spoil it just yet because we're coming up on it. You know, so I was like, oh, this isn't just ghosts and shit. You know, this is a treat. So I was like, oh my god.
Okay, so the first one, guy has camera glasses.
Right, and he
looks like fucking JJ.
They want him to film him getting laid.
Yeah, them picking up chicks and getting laid.
They want to film the experience. They're college guys,
They're
whatever.
looking to make amateur porn.
And so, like I said, it scans down her feet, and he makes a quick comment. And I like that he keeps going to the bathroom to kind of like get my shit together, blah blah blah. And after that, I think they're
three dudes pick up 2 chicks, where 2 of the dudes. So
already the math is off.
Yeah, there's like 2 perfect pairs, and like one guy is like super hammered and like looks like he's just gonna watch.
He's the cock blocker.
The jerk of the group, kind of the big bro one, his date passes out. His buddy kind of advises him from pressing any further. It kind of is rapey, right? And so he is pissed, makes his way to the other the girl the
guy with the glass. The guy who's filming this is girl,
right? Yeah.
The girl he's picked up, the weird one,
right? And he he cuts in, and she kind of is like not into it, but then she goes for it, and kind of insinuates like a threesome, to which he chickens out of.
Yeah,
he runs into the bathroom, and then what? He hears screams.
Well, no, he comes back out, and the drunk guy is like naked, and he's kind of looking like he's getting on it. And that's when he comes back in, and the drunk guy runs in, and he's like, she fucking bit me. And so he's like, what the fuck? He goes back out there, and it almost like one of those shoulder turns, like, hey, you fucking bit my friend, what the hell? And that's when her face, she's like, her like forehead is split into like a...
Yeah. She had like, obviously a razor sharp set
like
of...
a creepy
chompers.
Cat monster,
I originally thought...
Vampire bat.
Vampire. From what I've come to understand, succubus is what she was.
Yeah, Derek told me that too.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know that, but
what is a succubus though?
It's like a demon thing.
I feel like it's sort of like a demon, and I feel like they prey on men.
Something like that.
I think normal people call them women, but
Sinners. Sinners comments on what the dictionary definition of succubus is.
Urban or Webster.
Yeah, whatever you got. And you almost wonder, he's trying to wake the chick that's passed out because she's like feasting on the 2 guys that have insinuated sex. And the guy with the glasses is freaking out instead of just running right out the door. She's obviously busy.
It's a scary situation.
In that I understand. He's trying to wake the chick who's passed out. And honestly, I'm like, is she going to kill her too? Is she going to survive because she happened to pass out drunk? What the fuck?
She does.
I think she flies off with the guy at the end.
Yeah, well, spoiler. But, anyway.
Yeah.
So he runs out the door, runs down the stairs, and you're
okay, well, first off, you see him at one point when he's hiding. She rips off the douchebag's
penis.
Genitals. Like, the whole set.
Do you guys feel that too? Like,
I was like, left behind.
Even when you just said that, I was like, oh.
Like, I wanted to go into hiding.
She did it real fast, just like, I don't even know if you go, like, if you see her go for it, but obviously you, like, rip, and then you see the, like, obviously it's it's practically
the
got a light
aftermath
on with a halo, flying through. But I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, mine pretty much went into hiding after that. So
yeah.
It never
I had to make sure
mine
was still there.
That was So he runs. He finally makes his way out the door.
They're at a hotel.
Yeah. Finally goes out the door. Yeah,
he goes. Right. He looks down, and obviously there's people outside.
Yeah,
so
it's an outside hotel. You walk out, and you're on the balcony.
And so instantly, every audience member is probably like, "Oh my gosh, there's people. It's public, so hopefully, help or something will come." I don't know. He runs across the balcony. He goes. The stairs are inside, like a stairwell. Falls down, like breaks his wrist. Clean break. It's like sticking out of the skin.
Pretty
and
nasty.
The chick obviously has come down there. And she's like, you think I'm pretty? Or don't think I'm pretty? And like a weird, like her demon crazy cat. Like she's getting weird now.
She tells him she likes him again and then goes for fellatio. And to which he is, non-responsive due to the situation. And then that's when she's like, you don't like me? And then you kind of know, like, well, there you go, guy. If you ever had to fake a Woody, that was your perfect chance,
Yeah.
Not that, sorry you were a little under pressure there, but that was your chance.
So what, she like scampers off? Like kind of like hides for a second?
She goes like under
sulks.
the little gap under like the bottom stair. You know, like...
And then he makes another run for it.
He makes it outside in the parking lot. There's people around now. He's out by the cars. And he gets to someone. He is a foot away from someone. And next thing you know, you hear like a giant wing flap, like a giant gust of air coming down. The camera is like flying around, and like you see it like drop to the ground or something.
I think you see him like look up, and you see like
this bitch is like
flying
wings.
away.
Yeah, she is flying away. And I was like, that took a whole nother left turn. It's one thing you're having to run from some chick, but this bitch sprouted wings and took off with you like a vulture.
It's good where they give you only what you need to know at that time until like,
because it's not like you saw wings on her.
No,
and like, oh man, she can fly. Oh shit.
Yeah, it was almost like pace building. Like
you almost want to see it happen. Like
it's weird how you get so much out of such a short
on all of
clip. Yeah. So then you want to move on to the second one?
Yeah.
This one is might be my least favorite just because it's the most boring. I feel like that's the one where they're on vacation, right?
The guy and the girl. Yeah, they're driving through like it looks like a deserty type place.
Yeah, they're just.
I can't remember. They're just sightseeing or some shit.
Yeah,
they're just camping around
on a vacation,
like a weekend trip, and
they're not camping.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. They're just like on a weekend trip hitting locations and shit. And so they stop for the night in like a kind of western deserty kind of town. It's not like a timepiece, but like an old,
just a
rural area.
Yeah.
And
tourist attraction, tourist trap.
they're not. Are they boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're together.
And so they fall asleep, and obviously they're just documenting they fall asleep.
Weren't they sleeping in different beds though?
Different beds. Yeah, that's right.
Why were they sleeping in different beds?
See, I thought they were just friends.
I thought they said something that a mistake was made and they ended up with two beds.
So they could still sleep on the same. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, so they go to sleep. They shut off the camera. Some time has passed. The camera turns on, and it's like filming both of them asleep.
Well, somebody knocked on the door, though, right? Like,
I'm sorry, I did skip that part.
At some point in their hotel, a knock on the door. The guy goes to answer it. An unexpected knock. Like, they obviously don't know anybody around this area. Guy goes, answers it, and
a woman has asked for a ride the next day.
Yeah, a woman has asked for a ride out of the area the next day, to which the guy says no, shuts the door, discusses how freaky it is.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Right. So
the camera picks up, right,
and someone is filming them at night sleeping. He pulls out a knife the first night.
Switchblade, I think.
Yeah, a little switchblade, and kind of like rubs it on, I think, the girl or something, like...
I think she was rubbing it on the guy. I think it was a girl that was filming.
Well, obviously, spoiler alert, yeah, the girl was filming. I'm saying I thought she held the knife.
Because
she pulls down...
It was on the girl.
She pulls down the
blanket.
blanket.
She was, like, messing with her.
Yeah, she pulls down the girl's, like, kind of blanket.
Oh, yeah.
And she's got a little bit of, like, that between her, like, butt and, like, bottom of the shirt.
Uh-huh.
Kind of, like, fleshes it against her skin. The camera turns off. Oh, she takes money the first night, right?
Yeah, she does take $100.
She takes, like, $100 out of the guy's wallet. She goes into the bathroom, and all you kind of see in the mirror is her wearing a hoodie and, like, a white, almost like V for Vendetta mask.
Like a Jabberwocky.
Yeah. And so the next day, they're on the road. The guy has asked her about the missing money, and he almost sounds like he doesn't believe the girl. He's like,
his
you
girlfriend.
you took the money, and she's like, no. He's like, look, if you buy something, just tell me. I just need to know what happened to it. She says she doesn't know what happened. They go through it the day, and at night they're in the hotel filming. They fall asleep. Again, someone picks up the camera, and that's when she kills him, right? Because it was a real short one. And she you see the cameraman have a knife, and she like stabs the dude in the jugular, and he starts like bleeding out, choking on it. And the whole time I'm kind of wondering, like, why isn't the girl waking up? Like,
right.
I feel like that'd be enough to wake you. It wasn't super loud, but I feel like it'd still be enough to wake you. And then what happened? It gets revealed that
I think the girl just ends up like sort of self-emoting the camera, and they're just like making out. Turns out the killer,
they're together.
The
strange hitchhiker girl, was with the girlfriend of this guy. So definitely my least favorite.
Yeah. I didn't care
the weakest
for
of the
by far.
Yeah, kind of almost like the shock value was, oh wait, the girl that knocked on your door was with the girl. Cool, that's...
If they were written by 5 separate people, that guy clearly didn't get the memo that like, hey, make it creepy and scary. And this guy was just like, I'll just make it sort of old school.
Yeah, but there are like just stacks of these videotapes.
Sure. Yeah,
so
that's
it's like,
true.
Sure, there's bound to be a couple.
It really makes you wonder, like,
What
where
else
these
is
came
there?
from.
Yeah.
Like, who filmed these? Or, like, I mean, obviously, you know, some, like, who collected this giant collection of these
How do you
sketchy
collect
tapes?
that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
What's the third one?
is it the Woods?
Third one's the Woods. Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, the third one, it's 4 people, 2 guys, 2 girls, on their way to... The girl of the car is a driver.
Yeah.
Or the driver of the car is a girl.
The girl of the car is
she
the
says
driver.
every year she goes up to this remote location to camp or...
Yeah, I think that's just a
camp or
camping
something,
trip.
and so everyone's pretty psyched. They make it there, and it's obviously dead end. They're in the woods, and the girl mentions that her friends died there, and then so they're kind of like, okay, this is this is weird, and then she's dropping like weird comments randomly, like, you guys are gonna fucking die here.
Yeah,
and they're all just like, you're gonna die here too. Oh, we're gonna die here. This is so funny.
Die, you jokester.
And then like,
death's coming for us all, dude.
the
Final destination.
and the whole time they're filming, the camera will kind of glitch. Like,
Yeah.
she's like, my friend
So when they
was along that wall, and it glitches to like a dead body, like bashed up against the wall real quick, and like,
so the camera's picking up things that the people can't see.
yeah. And the guy's kind of like, what's up with your camera? It's really weird. And all of a sudden, one of the girls and one of the guys walk off, and it's almost one of those, like, the guy's like, hey man, do you think it's true about what she said? Isn't that kind of crazy? Mm-hmm. You know, what do you think she means? That we're all gonna die up here? That's a weird thing to say to your friends. No shit. Yeah. And all of a sudden, like, the camera's like glitchy, but you see like a figure like walking through the woods in like a red, I don't know, man. It looked like the Red Hood from Batman, honestly. Like a figure glitching in the camera, walking, and he like throws a knife through like this hot girl's face.
Yeah.
And the guy's just like, oh my god, your eye! And like,
does have,
pans
like, a
right
reaction.
where obviously there's a killer because the chick in front of you just died and you're reacting like an idiot. And like the glitchy figure like kind of chases him a little bit and kills him. And it cuts to the girl. And does she kill the other guy? Oh, she's like, do you want to fuck me? And he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, she's like trying to like do it right there.
I don't know
for
if
some reason.
he runs. Oh, the guy, the glitchy figure, Red Hood dude comes from behind him and kills him, I think. And she's like, she runs off because she's like, I fucking got you now. Because apparently this guy killed her friends.
Yeah, so she's coming back for revenge.
Oh, yeah, because she tells him earlier, like, you guys are just, I brought you up here as bait for this killer.
Did she tell him that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, what the fuck? Like, what? What are you talking about? And that's when kind of shit starts happening. They're like, oh, that chick is being weird. No shit. Duh. If we go camping, one of you guys start endlessly dropping hints like, I'm going to die, I'm going to fucking leave you there. So
I'm going to ask what you know that I don't and what I should know.
I'm like, give me the camera because I know I'm going to see the glitchy guy,
Yeah, she's so like, I got you.
So was like the camera like a lens of truth? Like,
I think
you couldn't see the guy unless you looked through the camera?
I think it's like there's a lot of like EMF, or EMP, what's it called? Like
EMP.
Electromagnetic
distortion, kind of.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of what they were hinting at.
She
with
just
the
had
camera
3 useless friends that I guess could be better off dead.
But you could only see him through the camera.
Yes.
And
I don't know. I think you could only see like the dead bodies and stuff, like the remnants of the past. I think the creature maybe you could see, but it distorted it on the camera.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So maybe you could see something.
The third person dies. She starts running and she's like, I got you now. We trapped you. And like, I think the thing steps in like a bear trap. He falls in like a little, cover this manhole with sticks and twigs. And, he falls in one of those. And eventually she stabs him or something. He's hurt. And I don't remember how'd that end.
I honestly don't remember that one either. How that one
I'm
ended.
not 100% sure.
I think she might have died.
That's like
think
there's a
they
few
all
in there
end-
that I like really like, and then there's a couple that are like, those are good. And
Does
that was
another
of
one
them.
come from behind? I think she dies.
I think so too.
I think I think everyone was dead in that one. Either way, it was okay.
Aside from how the killer is done in like that bit, kind of a boring. Like one of my other least
I thought
favorite.
it was interesting. Like I thought like the concept of the distortion on the camera. And
It
stuff
was
like
really
that.
cliche in the fact that like they're smoking pot in the wood. It's like a Friday the 13th movie. You're smoking pot. They're instigating sex. One of them goes skinny dipping in the lake. Oh my
you sound
god!
like a counselor when you say that. Instigating sex,
initiating,
they're promoting
intercourse.
sexual
You would have
activity.
made a counselor really happy saying that.
Thank you.
Like you weren't like they weren't fucking. You know, like you. Very professional.
So when you're watching the movie, you're 3 short films in. I think the first one is still the strongest.
Yeah.
So we go into the 4th one.
Oh man, is this
okay? Nick, I'll let you take this one because I had trouble understanding this one for a while.
Which one was this?
the thing
like I said,
that
I had
happened
trouble.
long ago to Emily or whatever? The video chat one.
With the arm?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
This
fuck.
is in my opinion, this was the best one.
This
The
is where
last one is the best one to me, but I do love this one a lot.
Okay.
this is where I got. This is where I got lost.
The last one was
'cause I
the haunted
like,
house one.
Yeah.
Where they go to the party, the Halloween party.
Oh, that was a good one too.
That's my favorite.
I preferred this one.
I'll let you take this
Okay.
one because I was.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was one I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
I
don't get
love this one. I'm with you on that. Like 1, 4, and 5 are the best.
I agree. Oh, definitely.
All right.
Okay, so this one is just a real quick 2-person. It's a guy and a girl. They are doing a FaceTime, I guess.
Yeah,
He-
Skyping
he's-
webcam thing.
He's essentially out of town, and they're talking. I think they're dating.
Yeah, looks like they've been together maybe for a while. He's out of town. She's, I guess, home alone, and it's a normal run of things. She kind of complains about this bump on her arm. She says it seems very familiar. It's kind of irritating. The guy tells her the guy happens to be a medic or an EMT or have some sort of like med background because
Right.
he's telling her he'll look at it when he gets there, which is about a week away.
Yeah,
don't mess with your arm.
Yeah.
So
She keeps digging in it.
she keeps digging at it.
Well, she tells him she's hearing shit in her.
Right. Okay. So that's how it starts. And
Yeah.
so she explains that some things are going on, and
She keeps hearing the stuff, and she doesn't want to look at it.
Right.
So she webcams
has
him
there
in
so
order
that
to.
he can back up her
So
story.
she'll hold the laptop with the webcam going
face out. Right.
face out, and then she'll close her eyes, and he tells her when he sees something.
Yeah. So clearly shit starts going down. The dude the whole time too is kind of like not.
He's really
real
calm.
into it. Yeah. He's real calm.
He's less affected about this than he should be.
Well,
Right,
he's calm,
correct.
and the fact that the girl is relatively calm as well. She's never like, "Oh my god, give me like." She's filming one. She's the first one, I think. What she's filming, and like you clearly see a little kid like run across or
and
something.
that is the part that I jumped at. Like I was like, wow, whoa. Like,
See, yeah, like I don't
freaked.
think I freaked like that. I hopefully.
And this was one of the creepier ones for
I
sure.
didn't scream, but I did jump.
So I'm freaked out. Obviously, I'm like anytime there's like a little demon kid, you think of like what's that one Sarah Michelle Gellar was in, the one in Japan. They know they were like that kid that was like
Like the Ring. but
yeah, it was like The Ring, but
The Grudge.
The Grudge, yeah, that was it.
Overrated also.
So that that happens,
sure.
and like neither of them are really freaking out. So instantly, I'm kind of like, you both are acting really weird. You're acting really weird for seeing this for the first time. You're acting really weird because you
Man,
want to.
She's just like
you want to talk about
She is
this.
just like
yeah.
digging into that arm.
Yeah,
What
so
was she digging into it
She
with?
keeps okay, to me it looked like the big long 2-prong
That was the
to stab
second
like
thing.
a pork chop or something.
Tongs, like,
That was the second thing. She had like a letter opener or like
yeah,
some kind of
she like something was in her arm, and
definitely
she
was,
had
like,
to get it out.
way under her arm.
Yeah, she
in
was-
like a safe, in a
Yeah.
very unsafe way. Like
Yeah.
like putting it under the skin and like wiggling
just
it.
open wound. Yeah, like a lot of degree of like
And I thought that
angle
was
on her hand.
And
too,
I thought that
she's
was weird.
jacking
Like
it
I'm noting shit, like, because I'm trying to figure it out, like everyone watching a movie. And I was like, man, this is just getting like really weird. And then like she wants to talk to this thing, and I'll let you guys explain the ending of this because I'm
Either way,
the
shit starts
ending
going
is the
down,
best part.
and then she gets. How'd she get knocked out?
See, I don't
remember how
I don't remember it, but she ends up.
She
think
must
the
go
thing
unconscious,
is
get knocked out.
Yeah,
Because you find out while her laptop is there recording, like she kind of like falls over and on the ground and like sees her.
Of course, it's facing the open living room.
The boyfriend leaves his snap video. You can sort of see it on the laptop, and then enters the room. So right away, okay, he's there. What's going on?
He was
And then he-
upstairs the whole time.
Yeah, he was upstairs or something.
So I'm assuming it was some kind of apartment complex.
I guess so. Yeah, it must be. Oh, that must be it. So like the apartment next door, upstairs,
Yes.
whatever. And then he enters the room with 3 kids.
Yeah, there's like 3 kids in there.
And
Three little
his
demon
girlfriend.
kids.
You see her back, I think.
Yeah.
And he cuts open her back, reaches in, and pulls out a fetus, an alien fetus.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know was alien at the time. I knew it was fetus, and I assumed it wasn't human. I just wasn't sure.
It was
wait,
did you
look it up or something?
I did, yeah.
What?
So,
it was an alien penis?
I had to look
See,
it
I
up.
didn't get that at all. What the fuck? Like,
well, I thought it was he pulled it out of her back,
and
then I'm pretty sure like a normal human fetus, right? You can't just like reach in and grab.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
There's
I've never
complications
given
to that.
birth.
Yeah.
C-section. I don't know. Reverse C-section.
Right.
it is not
Either way,
as easy
through
as
the
he
back,
made it
I
seem.
didn't think it was possible. So it was crazy. I sat there and was like, "What just happened?"
So
what is
I
that?
don't. So she was an alien,
No,
she
was the
like host
incubator.
of
she is.
So the kids were aliens.
She's the
Are
surrogate.
the kids
sorta.
aliens?
I'm assuming.
It looks like the kids are aliens, and this chip, or the thing in her arm turns out to be
I'm assuming
like
some kind
like
of
a tracker.
Yeah, I'm
And
assuming
that
it's
is
some kind
so
of
that
registration
the aliens
device.
can keep track.
Maybe
of
the
their-
vitals.
of
Maybe the
their
vitals of the
vessels that
baby.
they're birthing these children's with, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
So maybe it's to like GPS.
And
maybe
it could check on the vitals of the
the
host,
fetus, yeah.
right?
Or the host, the fetus, the.
But this chick didn't know there was an alien fetus. Like there was anything wrong.
That's
in
the
her.
thing. She's an unknowing surrogate.
Yeah, and this has happened before. She says it feels very familiar. So this has happened before. They've erased her memory, and he says it's a line about it too, like wipe her memory, and that's why when she wakes up, she's beat up all the shit, and he explains that she wandered into the street and was hit by traffic, and then you see him later in another video chat doing the same thing with a different girl.
Another
So you're
girl.
to assume
And
that there are aliens.
Yeah, all you see is
over.
her being like, "Something's wrong with my arm," and
Yeah.
he's like, "I'll check it out when I get there." And
I'll be
The
pumping a
same
weed.
spiel.
Right.
Okay, it's better than that you explain it.
So they're like, who knows how many
that
girls or I guess girls are out there birthing aliens and don't even know it.
Because I thought it was something with like AI weird robots or something, and I was like, wait, what? I don't get what's going on right now.
It blew me away when I watched it, and then when I read it, I was like, what?
Yeah, I
Oh,
really,
it was nice.
really enjoyed
Yeah,
that
okay,
one.
that's pretty good.
That
I
one's
guess.
my favorite.
That one is better than what was it? 2
And 3.
and 3. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, I guess it was better than 2 and 3.
So take us into number 5. This
Okay.
was definitely one of the better ones.
This is my favorite by far. So they're all a bunch of friends are loading up to go to a Halloween party. So they're all dressed up in costumes,
4 bros.
ready to probably mac on some chicks, drink some beers, be in
Are
costume.
they
Halloween stuff.
are they going to meet people?
I believe-
Because I thought he
They're
was
going
like,
to a party.
my friend gave me the address.
Yeah. So I'm assuming one of their friends was like, "Hey, there's this party going on." So I don't know if they got the wrong address or what happens, but they show up at this house and it's empty, and it's a big house, and
not only is it empty, the inside is very historic. Like it has
it's
like
very
a
dated,
regal.
dated feel. That's where I like
Yeah.
an aged feel to it.
Yeah,
like
it's an older
okay.
house. So they go in and they're like, maybe this is just part of the party, like it's a haunted house kind of deal. Because like you see crazy stuff start happening, and I think the effects were done really good in this one. Where like the windows on the door would like shrink, and there's like arms coming out of the walls, and like
Yeah.
so like they're going through and they're like, "Oh, this is pretty scary, bros. Like we're at the scary haunted house thing," and they end up going upstairs, and when they get upstairs, there's a girl who's like tied up, and are they torturing her or
It looked like they were just getting ready to torture her.
they're getting ready to torture her?
It's like 3 dudes.
Yeah.
because she's like X'd out, right? Like
Yeah.
Like it looked like the flayed
flayed
man.
man style.
Yes. And the guys upstairs start chanting something, and then the bros that are there for the party start chanting too because they think they're, getting in on the fun.
Which was awesome, by the way.
And the people are like, who are you?
They turn, deer in the headlights.
And then they kind of start realizing like, hey, that girl's in trouble.
Like,
Well,
we've stumbled on something.
Something's happening here that we
Yeah.
kind of weren't privy to. Like this is strange. So then they try to rescue the girl.
Well, first they run all the way out.
Oh, they run.
The
away?
guys kind of like scare the shit out of them. Like get the fuck out of here. And I think they're kind of like
I think they almost get like all the way out the house, if not to
they
the
do.
street.
they do. They
Yeah.
make it to almost to the street.
And you like as they're running through the house, more scary shit's happening. Because the whole time they're walking through the house, you're like, this isn't right. You're seeing lots of shit happening, and you're like, these people don't realize that this isn't.
I didn't think anything weird happened till they grabbed the girl.
Yeah, once they got because they beat the shit out of the other 3 guys.
No, there was definitely some fishy shit going
There
on.
was
before.
like a few,
maybe
there was a
not
few
as
things.
intense.
The guy
as I've
saw like a
described
girl on the stairway, the thing in the mirror.
It. Yeah,
Either way, they go back.
they definitely
fight
thought
off
it was
these old
part of the
dudes.
Halloween.
Yeah, I gotcha.
The guys say something like because the 2 guys like split off. 2 guys come out. The one the camera doesn't follow. They come back and they're like, dude, they had this cool effect about arms coming out of the walls, blah, blah, blah. I've never seen
okay.
something like that. And you're like, what? Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's an interesting note.
Okay, all right, my bad.
They grab the girl because, like, they beat the shit out of these 3 guys.
So, yeah, and then they rescue this girl. What are these?
And they're taking her out through the house, and the house is just going fucking nuts. Like, we got floating cutlery and silverware and shit flying. They go out to, like, the windows.
My favorite effect,
The windows shrink and disappear.
Yeah.
Like, the door handle, like, the guy grabs the door handle and it, like, flies off, so it can't be opened.
It, like pulls in, doesn't it? Like, it retracts.
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
something
He
like
grabs
that.
it, and he's like, and it's just gone.
And they finally, and the whole time, like, the farther one, like, you're getting down the hall, behind them, like, arms, like, start coming out of the wall.
Trying to, like, grab them, and they're trying to get this chick outside, and they finally make it outside, which is like, oh, okay.
They had to go through, like, a weird cellar exit.
Yeah.
They finally make it outside. They make it to their car. Because the whole time, you're like, they're not going to make it to the car. Oh, okay, they do. They're not going to make it here. Oh, shit, they do. Okay, like, they make it to the car. They're on the back seat. They drive, and their car dies right on a train
Stalls
track.
on the train tracks.
And the girl disappears.
They look over at the girl. She's gone.
I think she's sitting in the middle of the back seat,
Yeah.
like, between them, and then poof, she's gone.
And then she's outside the car.
They hear a train come in. Obviously, you're on a train track. And, like, they go to get the car, and they can't. The car won't start. It's dead, and the chick is, like, outside, like, right in front of the, like, right on, almost on the hood, almost. And just, I don't know.
And
There's
it's like right there, you can tell that, like,
this is...
they weren't hurting her. They were probably, like...
Restraining her and probably going to eliminate her. They were going to hurt her.
Yeah.
But not because she didn't deserve, you know.
Turns out she needed to be there.
But
and
you
those
also
guys
don't
thought they
know
were
what the
doing it.
motivation from the guys was. Maybe they created the
That's true.
evil. Like, you really don't get their motivation.
My thought at the end, seeing that, knowing that she set it up, was that the old guys were actually trying to kill her. Or you know, like, get rid of her. She's obviously bad.
Yeah.
They were doing the good thing. And then the
I think that's
party
what-
bros thought they were doing themselves were doing the good thing.
Everyone's the hero of their own story. That's the message you got to take away from
Yeah,
VHS.
I guess
That's
so.
a deep...
Either way, it's like
That's a deep
right
meaning,
when you
Tyler.
right when you tell that they're on the tracks and the girl's gone, it's like, oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, and
There's-
then it's...
that's what I was looking for.
The ending
There
shot
it
is of the train, needless to say, plowing the shit out of them.
And they are dead as
Yeah,
shit.
they are dead. Which is kind of like, how did the camera survive to get... You ever seen a train You ever seen a train wreck?
Yeah.
Huh. I watched Final Destination. You ain't gonna live through that. You
How
know,
did the ship or the story make it out? Or the map or the story make
yeah,
it out?
Goonie style. Yeah, that was a really good one. I like the 4 bros just made it that much. Like you said, the guys are doing some weird chant, and they're just like,
Yeah, they
jump
just
in there
join in
like
real
toga,
bro
like if it
style.
was like a toga party, you know, like they're
Toga.
I think
Yeah,
one is
yeah.
dressed as like a Unabomber. Like one guy's all like camoed out.
One's
I
a camo
think.
dude. The guy is dressed as like a teddy bear.
Yeah, it makes it better because they're all in costumes because
Yeah,
they're going to this
and they're
Halloween
literally
party.
just like go in there and they just chant this thing, thinking they're like
Is it? I didn't
having
know.
a cool party
The
chat.
question I had was they get to it and they're walking around and seeing obviously no one's inside. And I thought one of them said something like, dude, you sure this is the address? And the guy's like, yeah, this is what it says. So you're kind of like, are they at the right house? You know, maybe like,
Maybe they got invited.
like if it had 105th, 105 South Street or 105 South Terrace, maybe there was an address mix up. Who gave them the address? You know, there's questions you're like, oh, God, I wanted to.
yeah, maybe they were invited to the right house and they were just like,
See, I never finished the thought on the address thing either. I was just like,
that was my
because you're
only
too
thing.
distracted by
Ignore it.
like this
Oh,
crazy
yeah,
shit
definitely.
going down.
But definitely, I was like, this is when you first, because I think all you get before they make it to the girl and that shit gets weird. You see like a girl in the mirror. You see like a girl like walk a shadow or something.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing crazy happen, and so the whole time you think, oh, this witch is gonna chase him or something. And on the way out the door, you see the arms out the walls and all the flying stuff in the windows, and you're like, oh my God, this is so much more
That was
than
creepy.
I thought it was gonna be. And actually, all these turned out to be a little bit more than I thought they were gonna be.
Yeah.
And then you figure out
Except for the second one, that was a lot less than I thought it was.
yeah,
gonna be.
the very end, you come back to like the real movie of the movie.
Yeah, the movie at
the crime
Outside.
going on in
Between each found footage film, when it cuts back to the OG movie here, the guy who was watching it is gone, and like the old man who they thought was like dead in the house with them, that owned the
Is
house
actually
they
like
broke
a
into to steal the
zombie?
videotape, is like a zombie, or maybe he wasn't dead, but they never check his vitals. You know, they just like they didn't put
They
the
assume he's
finger under the
dead.
nose. They don't
Isn't
check
he,
his vitals.
is he naked at one point? Or am
Well,
I...
see, when they walked, the thing in the basement looked at least shirtless
Yeah.
or naked. And I don't know about you guys, but if we're broken into like an abandoned looking house looking for shit, and one of you come up to me and say, "There's someone down here," I'm not gonna blow you off and be like, "No, man, you're crazy." I'm gonna be like,
gonna watch
"Oh
it.
shit!"
Especially
oh, shit.
seeing as much of the like passerby as he did, I'd have been like, nope, round
And
it
even
up.
the content
He
of
was-
the videotape.
He was
Yeah,
like,
oh, yeah,
what,
nope,
did
send
he-
the troops
I
home,
wouldn't
not
finish.
doing this.
I wouldn't finish one of the. I might grab a couple and throw them in a bag.
See, that was
so I
also
could check
my
them
thing.
out later.
But you almost think maybe they didn't finish
What's
it
amazing
because
is
they got
there's
taken out.
Stacks.
Like-
there's stacks of these tapes.
They got taken out before the video could finish.
There's
so
not
that's-
wonder how
five
the tapes
tapes.
got there and
There's
stuff,
not
too.
5 tapes. There's stacks of this
Yeah,
shit.
I was like, I want to know what else is there. Like, and I'm glad none of them had like the first one was like, vampire monster, and then like that's your tease.
Yeah.
It was like there's nothing on it. It's blank.
They're all blank. They have no idea what they're looking
Yeah.
for, other than they'll know it when they see it.
I will say number 2 is definitely worth a watch.
VHS 2?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you meant the second thing, and I was like, no,
I
wait, man.
started VHS 3, Viral is what it's called, and I didn't finish it. It just didn't grab me right away. I might go back and give it another go around, but 2 for sure is worth a go. It only has 4. 2 only has 4 movies.
Like I said, I didn't go into this with a lot of optimism. I was like you said, I think both Netflix's tricky rating and you being like just ignore the main story, which isn't in it a lot.
It's
the 5 videotapes have so much more screen. Probably the original story has as much screen time as like the first video, which was I think one of the longest ones.
Yeah.
Like it's
Maybe even less than that.
it almost seems like the original story and all 5 get like 15 minutes apiece.
Yeah.
Not
And
even.
And it's perfect. I think
This was a way better movie than I thought it was going to be.
I'm glad you thought so, man. It's a real interesting one.
Out of 10, I guess I'll give this one man, I don't know. Like what I give Paranormal, like an 8.5. I give VHS like a 7.5. Like
I'm gonna go 8 on VHS. It was definitely my favorite.
I am too. That's what I was thinking.
I had a few. Like I said, I feel like you could have had the original story of stealing the videotape from a house, whatever, without the shit in the beginning. Like that's just like
Well, you're just. I think you're supposed to like know these guys are like skis.
yeah, I get that. I'm just like that's a weird. Like I tried to figure
it was a
like
weird
the
place
guy
to go.
writing the movie, and I'm just like that's such an odd. Okay, that's.
But it's like it is odd, but it is like the perfect like.
It sets up their
If
characters.
his intent was to make us like hate these guys or something,
Nailed
then nailed it. Yeah, oh yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
well, but I don't want to hang out with that crowd. Like,
Exactly.
What'd you give this one Nick, out of 10?
8.
8, and then you said
8 as well.
8.5. So I think
No 8. No half.
yeah, that's
Don't
what.
put words in my mouth.
All of these were awesome.
I went into this like not excited about these movies. This
hold
week.
on. Everyone's
I'm
awesome except
always
Blair
excited
Witch.
when we think of an idea. I'm like, that's perfect, and then like, oh, now I have to watch these movies.
The OG for
And
the
I was like-
review, the original Blair Witch Project. It says it didn't care for. I probably would have cared a lot more about it had I watched it before, maybe closer to the time when it came out. I was let down by it, but I feel like Paranormal Activity and VHS are both quality films.
For sure.
Sinners, if you haven't seen them, check them out. And I know there's lots more found footage horror films out there. Like we said, I feel like this fits the genre of horror. Like found footage and horror would just go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot out there. Sinners, if you have any recommendations, let us know. We obviously we're horror fans, and as long as Tyler's not getting seasick watching these, I think he could enjoy them as well.
See, the reason I do good on Paranormal Activity is that if you notice, the camera's always
mounted.
stationary.
It is.
I mean, every
basically-
once in a while they
Yeah,
move it
stationary.
around, but yeah,
You don't have the heavy running through the woods and the camera jostling up and down with
exactly.
their hands and.
And you don't get that in VHS too often. I mean,
No,
like,
VHS is pretty solid.
Yeah. So
Like I said,
I
thought,
can do it if you film it well. You know.
take note.
Yeah, filmmakers.
So Sinners, like I said, if you got anything, let us know. If you like what we're doing, make sure you share our content to get the word out there. We
Yeah,
appreciate all
Facebook,
support.
Twitter, anywhere.
www.cinamen.com.
Cinamen.
Hit us up on iTunes if that's still your thing, or in a major podcast app.
We're on YouTube. I mean,
Check us out. So just don't be a dick.
Support the podcast.
oh shit.
Cheers. Cheers.
That's what that was.
Cheers. That's...
Hopefully you didn't see that. Cut that part.